thank everybody for making the effort to get here. I know it's very difficult in these times of COVID, but it's important that we stick to the basics and do what we're here to do. Just going to do a quick roll call of councillors with regards to apologies. If you can just call out your name when we call them. Carol Armstrong.
Councillor Carol Armstrong.
Councillor Herbert Briggs.
Councillor Herbert Briggs.
Councillor Hilary Harrington.
Councillor Hilary Harrington.
Councillor Will Wilkinson. You're on mute, Will.
He's on mute.
We couldn't be so lucky.
Councillor Will Wilkinson.
Well done.
Thank you. I'm Councillor Paul Scott, present. We have apologies from Sean Melton.
Excuse me, and Councillor Janet King.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Councillor Janet King. Sean Melton, apologies. Blaine Sansom, apologies. And we think we have Jed Glaziers. And Ryan Briggs may be running late. If he is, he will join the meeting halfway through. If not, he sends his apologies.
Nothing from Stephen.
I've not spoke to Stephen, so I have nothing from Stephen as yet, no.
Okay.
Declaration of interests. Does anyone have any interest in the agenda at all? If so, speak now or forever hold your peace. No. Exclusion of press and public. I don't think there's anything, Chris, that's...
No, if it gets
No.
personal, I'll just mute everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. When it comes to these parts here, we're just going to make it very simple. We assume that you've all had the information in advance and therefore you have read it. And if there's anything that you would wish to raise it at that point. If not, we'll assume the business has been concluded. So minutes from the previous meeting. I've got a couple on there, Chris.
Okay.
At the previous meeting, we agreed that Helena Thompson Museum, Carnegie Arts Theatre and the Moor Close Theatre and the Theatre Royal would be paid their lot with regards to COVID and ensuring they have money to survive. And yet we don't seem to have any money passed out.
I think that's my fault, Chair. I had that conversation with Judith and lost sight of the fact that usually we need to react it the other way around. So I need to be in touch with those people and tell them that we've allocated money and then they can invoice us. So I'll do that ASAP.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. That was the only one I really picked up on it. So number 5, schedule of payments. Does anybody anything they wish to raise?
Oh, can I have a proposer and seconder for the schedule of payments?
Yeah,
Oh, no, sorry, for the minutes please.
Councillor Briggs propose.
Janet King second.
Thank you.
Schedule of payments, anybody? Anything on it? Sorry, Carol.
I'll propose them.
Proposed them by Carol. Seconder.
Councillor Briggs.
Thank you.
Bank reconciliation statement. Anybody got that for that one, or can we assume that is okay? Can I have a proposer and a seconder?
Yeah.
I propose them, Chair.
Oh, yeah, Hilary, thank you.
I'll second.
Billy Wilkinson,
Yeah.
second. Yeah.
Thank you.
Budget monitoring statement to receive the report. Is everybody happy with that? Is there anything for that, or can we accept that as done? Can we have a proposer and a seconder?
Yep.
Councillor Harrington proposed.
Seconded.
That you will. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Number 8, banking arrangements. You've got the background there as part of the agenda, but basically what happens is Will and myself go in and sign checks based on the information provided by Judith, the finance officer. Obviously, with COVID coming on as quick as it did, we're now looking to move to electronic banking. So basically what this is, we need a resolution, and the resolution from the committee would be that the same would apply. We would check the payments on the information provided and then authorise the clerk and the finance officer to make the payments electronically.
Saves thee and me going with our pen, Paul.
Certainly does well. Janet,
Yeah.
would you like to say something?
Yes, just wanted to check. Does that mean that you would look at them and authorise them manually rather than actually going online to approve?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's fine.
So it would be a very similar system to the one we have now,
Yeah.
except as Paul says, instead of them authorising the cheque stubs, they would then sign a sheet, which then Judith would take as authorisation, along with the second person, who would be the second officer, usually me, to go through the electronic payments. We would then produce a report of electronic payments, which we would then produce as our schedule of payments to this meeting.
Yeah.
And the two would have to tally in order.
Basically, it isn't much different from what we do now. The only difference being we're authorising the officers to make digital payments rather than sending cheques.
Yeah.
I propose that then.
And the same signatures would apply as are currently cheque signatures.
Yeah. Proposer of Carol, seconder.
No second.
Councillor Briggs.
Oh, right.
Either or, take your pick, Chris. They were
Thank you.
keen to jump in there.
Thank you.
Banking arrangements for the mayor. To consider the arrangements for the proper management of the mayor's working fund, which my assumption would be something similar, Chris, is it? Although there will be some payments have to be made via cheque, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because these have to be paid by passbook. This is just a case of changing the signatures in the passbook account. So I'm happy to take 3-4 signatories from the signature list and just transfer those to that account.
Yeah. Can we have a proposer for that one?
I propose that you yourself, Paul and Will, and then any other two you've got.
Yeah.
Are you proposing it, Carol?
Yes, I'll propose that.
Okay, it's just you've got your hand up.
Yeah, it won't go down. I'll find it in a minute, don't worry.
Go.
And seconder?
Councillor Briggs.
Councillor Briggs, the secretary. Okay. Number 10, employment matters, town clerk. Consider the arrangements for the recruitment of a new town clerk, as Chris is leaving us. We're all very distraught about that, but he is leaving us.
Sorry.
He's going to pastures new, should we call. Background is Chris is leaving us. We have a job description that we've worked with Janet and myself, and it is now out in the public domain. Do we have any applications, Chris, out of curiosity?
We've had some interest. I haven't had any applications as yet, but we have had interest. So it's slightly early doors. They have to fill in the application form, and that usually stalls them for at least a few days. The reason for doing an application form is basically to keep it very fair. It is much fairer to do it than sort of judging by CV, but it does take people a little bit longer, so they can't just rattle off a CV and hope for the best. The return by date is the 7th of September. The bit we need to agree is who would be the interview panel, Paul.
Right. Well, I think obviously the mayor would have to be one of them. And I propose we have a cross-party interview panel, be it either myself or another chair of a committee, and possibly one from the Labour group. Maybe Denise Rollo would be interested in doing something like that. Should we be proposing that?
I would like to propose yourself, because you're the finance chair.
Yeah.
And Denise Rollo and the mayor.
Yeah.
Right. I'll ask Denise if she's happy with that.
I was going to say if we can ask Denise, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone happy with that? Proposer and seconder?
You've got the 9th of September. Is that when the interviews will be? Yeah. No, because Chris has just said the 7th.
I think I said the 7th, and I need to check my diary.
We've got the 9th on here.
Yeah. As you know, Carol, dates and me.
I know.
Yeah, we could tell by the lead cover, 21st.
Yeah, exactly. It means that I meant the 7th, I think.
Yeah.
Noon on the 7th
It's
is what
the
it says on the
7th.
form. Yeah.
And interviews the following week. What would be the start date then?
Interviews the following week. We'll try and get we'll try and get people to start, somebody to start as soon as possible. So it really depends. I finish at the end of the month. What I'm able to do, I'm hoping, I haven't spoken to Kendall about this, but what I'm planning to do is leave 3 days for me to hand over
Right.
to which might involve me coming back for 3 days once I've already started in Kendall. So what I'm proposing at the moment, and again, it depends what sort of candidates come forward, but is to leave the weekend of the 25th of September, that's the Friday, start in Kendall the following Monday, but actually be paid until the end of the month by Workington. So Kendall will effectively owe Workington 3 days, at which time I'll come back and do 3 days with the new clerk as a handover.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Could I ask, or would it be improper to reply on this, Chris? Has there been any internal interest?
There's been internal discussions, Will, but as yet, no interest.
Okay, are we all happy with that one?
Yeah.
We need a proposer.
Yeah, propose it, Paul.
Thank you. Seconder.
Councillor Briggs.
Is there any other employment matters you wish to report on, Chris?
Nothing pressing.
Nothing pressing. Okay, thank you very much. Right, very quickly we're moving to number 12 then, property matters. To receive an update from the clerk, outstanding matters in relation to the management of council's property. Right. Would you like me to do a bit on this one, Chris?
Please, Paul, if you don't mind.
Firstly, you'll remember back last year we had a discussion regarding the property on Princess Street. It was deemed then to be a worthy option and looking into that, which we did. We did present it or pass it through full council. I think it was September, Chris, am I right to say that? Last year. I think it was September.
Christmas, actually. I think it was December.
December, was it?
Yeah.
Paul, just to clarify, you mean the ex-county council building on the corner of Fleet Street and Princess Street?
Absolutely, yes. Basically, the county council's asking price for that property was 65,000. We got it valued with a reputable valuation company, and they valued it at 30,000 pounds. There's been some debate gone on since then. Is that the right word, Chris? Debate. Gone on. Back and forward.
Right way.
And after Chris,
on Zoom, I think we should say debate.
yeah, I think, and after Chris contacting the county council's local committee members, we now have a price that they are willing to operate on, and that price is £50,000. It's an urgent issue. We really need to make a decision tonight whether we wish to progress with this, and we may need to call an EGM to run this through council, as we would like to get this finalised preferably before Chris leaves, really, or as near as possible to getting it finalised before Chris leaves. So we shall open for discussion.
Well, can I speak, Chair?
Yeah, fire away.
I do believe there's a big difference in valuations. But non-county council, I believe their valuation to be more nearer the mark. They have dropped 15k. The rent that we're paying for other buildings could be put into this. I believe it's a reasonable price. The building could be paid for itself within 3 years. This is a strong forward move for the council, and I'll propose that we go ahead with this at the negotiation level it's at now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if my hand's up or not.
Hilary, you've got your hand up.
Can I second Will's proposal, please?
Yeah. Carol, do you want to come in?
No, I was just going to second it. I think it's we
Okay.
need to move on and do
Yeah.
this.
Okay, Janet, you've got your hand up.
Yes, I agree. We should go ahead with it. Best
Well-
price we're likely to get, I think.
Sounds like you're taking a vote, Chair.
I was going to say I was going to put it to the vote, but it kind of feels like we don't need to put it to the vote.
There's
Um,
only
Say
Herb
that
who hasn't said
I'm-
anything.
Saying as I'm the only one left, I agree with you.
So I think that's a unanimous decision, Chris,
I think it is.
for this one, and I think we move on this one as quick as possible.
Just in terms of the timetable, I think it does require a full council decision to secure it. I've briefed a solicitor already. The solicitor's fees make your eyes water, as they always do with solicitors, but we do need to do that. We can save some money on some of the charges in there because we've already done the due diligence bit in terms of had the building surveyed and things like that. So that price will come down from the £2,000 that Burnett's were hoping to charge us. But disbursements on property transactions, you know, they're a fairly fixed fee. So if we're happy with that, I can confirm the brief with the solicitors. And then we'll just set out a timetable with the county council, which includes a final decision by us as a full council. At that point, we'll set a date for a full council, hoping that it is either coincides with our full council on the 23rd of September or before, if that's okay.
Carol, you have your hand raised.
Oh, I was just thinking maybe we should have a one-off meeting fairly soon to inform the whole council what our
Yeah.
intentions. So there's no back doors and we've been open and.
So assuming
How long-
if I instruct the solicitors to talk to the county council for the next week, they'll come. What I'll ask them to do is come back with a decision timetable that says, I don't know, the week commencing the 7th or the 14th, something like that. We'll arrange a full council meeting.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Hilary, you want to come in?
Yes, in the meanwhile, could we go forward with getting some estimates how much the total cost will be to get it up to a standard which is suitable for a town hall?
That's the information that has to go to full council, Hilary. So that's
Yes,
one of the reasons for having a short delay for us to get those reports together so that we can actually make a decision based on all the information. We have an agreement to proceed from full council which extends to expressing an interest but didn't agree a price. What it said was subject to exactly what you say, which is how much it will cost us. So if you allow me to set that out the week commencing the 2nd of September, Carol, correct me if I've got my dates wrong. I do apologise. I'll try my best to get things the right date. But that my first week back after Hull, so a week on Tuesday, I will start setting out costs, and we'll try and bring something to council within 5 days of that.
Brilliant, thank you.
Okay, Herbert, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, it was just to ask Chris or yourself, Chair, with Chris being on holiday till the 2nd of September, how long would it take to sort of organise a full council meeting to get this on the agenda if we had a full council meeting with this just on the agenda, or if it's only going to be a matter of days, do we wait till the 23rd?
It takes 5 clear days, Herb. So a day of the notice, 3 clear days, and then the day of the meeting. So 5 days is your usual.
So we could basically have a full council meeting on the 9th of September.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Councillor Wilkinson.
Yeah, Herbert's just asked a question I was going to ask. Chris, contractual obligations, we may not even be able to discuss these because it is actually being recorded and viewed by the public.
For the town hall, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
That's a public domain contract, so I don't think we have a problem discussing it. We're paid up in the town hall until April the 1st, 2021, except for 2 rooms, which I think are due in December.
Yeah, me and Paul myself, although under COVID regulation we weren't there at the same time, but we both nearly passed out at the size of the cheque that we were
Yeah.
signing to Allerdale. So
We-
there is no renewal contract.
So
We can continue.
it would go without saying. I think that would obviously stay in the rooms until we're contractually obliged to leave them, but not renew them come next whenever the renewal period is, which I think is probably January for the March that comes after that. It also affects the room we have. We rent from Benson's up in Moor Close, which we used to use for Christmas decorations. That's slowly been emptied of Christmas decorations. Is now mainly full of estate team kit and stuff that the events team don't use on a daily basis. So I think we should abandon that too. That's another £1,000 back in the rental thing. And I think Judith included that in the summary of accommodation costs when she gave you those, Paul.
Yes, she did. Thank you. Well, I think you have a unanimous. We've got no more hands up, so we can move with that one. Do we need a
No, I think that's a good enough decision for me.
And I think the only other thing with property matters is our vehicle, I believe. Is it, Chris?
Yeah.
We have a vehicle currently that's in year 5 of its 4-year lease.
That's right.
We've paid extra on the lease, and there's been a request that our vehicle should be turned into a tipper to enable us to carry things around the park and tip, etc. So the discussion tonight is, should we look to purchase a good second-hand tipper, or do we want to sign up to a contract where they have it over 4 years, etc. So we shall open for discussion.
Can I just say, has Hillary gone?
Hillary's just dropped out.
Yeah,
Has her
she seems.
connection gone, perhaps?
Don't know. We'll see
No.
if she comes back.
She may come back. I know she has problems with her internet.
1953.
On the vehicle, Chris,
Yeah.
I just had a look around this afternoon, and it was the cheapest I could find was a Citroen Relay. There's Hillary. Welcome back. A Citroen Relay 2.2 blue efficient with drop side, and to be quite honest, it was £296 per month plus VAT for a 4-year contract, an extra £27.90 per month if we wanted maintenance on that.
Yeah.
That was a 10,000 mile
Limit.
maximum.
Yeah.
Yeah. With an initial payment of 3,562. In total, that makes the van worth about 19,000, and that's a brand spanking new van on lease for 4 years.
Who was that from, Paul?
That was from Vanarama.
I was going to say that sounds like Vanarama, who are our current suppliers.
There you go. So that was about the best I could see.
Yeah,
But
that is pretty good, and the relay is van spiel. The relay, the Peugeot Partner, and the Iveco Fiat, whatever it's called, are basically the same van. I'm just looking for how much we're currently paying, and we're currently paying $266 per month.
is that just for the vehicle, or does that include
That's
the finance?
that's just for the vehicle.
That's just for the vehicle. That doesn't include
Yeah.
maintenance or anything.
Doesn't include maintenance, no.
Councillor Armstrong, you've got your hand up.
Oh, it won't go down. I'm going to bow to your knowledge, Paul and Herbert, because I know absolutely nothing about vans.
Councillor Wilkinson.
To
A man who owns vans.
be honest with you, Paul, I know the amount of things that they move about, the actual labour and man hours it's going to save. I would tend to go along with this. When you want to shift large bulky items, a tipper, do you want to be standing there with a shovel, shoveling it off? You just put your P2 on, you press the button, you undo your tailgate, you tip it all there. That's it. It's empty. It's done.
If you've ever seen Joe Fletcher trying to empty soil out the back of the panel van that we have at the moment, he has to do it sort of hunched, and the dig, and he puts it in the barrow. But of course, the barrow then just gets to the edge of the van, and then they have to tip it into another barrow to get it out. It's crazy. So it served its purpose, but I think a tipper van is the way. The cage we can get. We've seen them where you can get a cage that goes all the way around, which is more secure because they need to put tools in the back. And then you can get a tarp to go over the cage, which would work for the events team when they need to carry stuff. I mean, 4 or 5 times a year, the events team load everything into the back of the van and take it to wherever they're doing their performance. And that usually needs to stay waterproof. But a tarp would do that on a caged tipper.
Councillor King?
I was just going to say, was it about £30 a month different? So it's not.
What, between the current van and what Paul was quoting? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not huge, is it?
No.
So,
I mean, obviously, the more bells and whistles you put on a van, the more expensive they get. But if we're happy for Alison to go and find us a target price of, I would say, somewhere below 320. What do we think about leasing versus HP versus purchasing?
Can we just come into Councillor Briggs? You've got your hand up.
Yeah, I think with what Chris was saying there about the cage and what it's used for, because it isn't just the grounds team that use it. I think the cage would be very beneficial for the events team, especially. At the moment, they can put the stuff in the transit and it's locked away. It's not going to go anywhere. Whereas if it's just to pick up with the sides, they could put stuff on and it could quite easily come off. So I think the cage would be better for them. And as for lease and hire purchase, I would say lease, because then any bills that you get, if you pay that extra £30 that Paul was on about, you've got no maintenance costs. You just send it back and it comes back fixed, especially with a tipper. Anything could go wrong.
Councillor King?
yes, I'd agree with that. I'd just ask the question, if it goes in, if something goes wrong and it goes in for maintenance, do we get a vehicle in its place, or would we have to wait for it to be repaired before we could carry on?
Pass.
That depends on the nature of the contract.
Right.
But we can look into that. But we're lucky in Workington that there are oodles of van hire companies around who are happy to cover us in short term. Ilebex have been outstanding in that respect in the past.
So when it comes to purchasing, would you rather go with a lease, or would you rather look at a hire purchase where the vehicle is ours at the end of it?
I'd rather go up, Paul,
Lease.
if we're putting in. I'll raise my hand.
Go on, you're all right. By the way.
I'd rather go for a lease. At the end of the day, you return the vehicle. The drop value in price, you know, it's, don't get me wrong, a tipper, they're a quite expensive item, but I think lease. I would definitely go lease rather than, well, that's only my only thoughts. Rather than purchase, I would go lease.
Any more discussion? No discussion.
Can I propose, Paul, that we move on and we sort of look at a van with the cage on a lease, and then it covers every aspect of what it's going to be used for, i.e. the ground team, i.e. the events team, i.e. anybody like us who wants to move a sofa.
It's always insured.
Shall we give Alison
Insured for any
permission?
driver.
Shall we give Alison permission to have a look at a vehicle that she finds interesting and one that she would like to bring back to the council?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
And I believe now that is the end of the meeting. Chris, is there anything else?
It's been a pleasure, councillors.
Excellent.
Thoroughly enjoyed every minute.
We'll now draw this meeting to a close, and you may stop recording.
Thank you very much.